Jeff's Superscript is brought to you by Black Cat Comics and Collectibles, in my opinion, the best comic shop and clubhouse on the internet. Follow them at Black Cat Burbank on Instagram and join their claim sales on Tuesdays for new books and Fridays for back issues. And don't forget to ask about joining their Stray Cats Club for special perks.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books hitting Final Order Cutoff this upcoming Sunday and Monday, May the 30th and May the 31st. I'm going to jump right into it because, as always, I'm trying to keep these videos shorter. I'm not doing such a great job. I'm going to try to do better with that. Let's start off this week by taking a look at the first book I want to mention, which is Spawn's Universe, issue number 1 from Image Comics. Here's the description. It's here, the official introduction to the long-awaited Spawn's Universe, a double-sized issue that begins a storyline so huge that 3 new Spawn-related monthly titles will spill out from it, including a new Spawn title, Gunslinger Spawn Monthly, and a new team book bringing a handful of these characters together in their own book. With this one-shot, the world of Spawn changes forever. New heroes, new villains, and more importantly, new titles coming to a comic shop near you. Join this list of artists as well as we unveil a historic moment in the mythology of Spawn's universe. Okay, so if you're a big fan of Spawn, you're super excited. There's going to be a lot of Spawn coming your way. If you could care less about Spawn, couldn't care less about Spawn, then you probably couldn't care less about this book. I basically don't care too much about Spawn. Spawn's not really for me. More power to you if you like Spawn. It just never really been a thing for me. However, I am thinking about picking up this book, this Spawn's Universe one-shot, on spec potential alone. They're promising me, new heroes and new villains. It might be worth checking out just for spec potential, but who knows, maybe all these new heroes and new villains will come out in the main titles, which is probably where I would put them if I was a smart publisher. But anyways, this is one that I would at least pay close attention to, and if you're a big Spawn fan, just go ahead and throw it on your FOC order. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book called Vinyl, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Image Comics. Here's the description. Plastic creators Doug Wagner and Daniel Hilliard return with Eisner Award winner Dave Stewart for an unsettling tale of psychopaths, sweet love, and a serial killer named Walter. When Walter's best friend, the FBI agent charged with his capture, is kidnapped by a death cult of all-female sunflower farmers, Walter finds himself deep within an underground labyrinth filled with secrets and monsters. But are there monsters more horrific than his? I'm interested in books where the bad guy has to be the good guy. And so this is a book that fills that bill. Sounds like it could be interesting. Sounds like it might be worth checking out. This is probably a book that I don't imagine comic shops are going to order big on. So if it sounds interesting to you and you want to at least pick up the first issue to check it out, you might want to go ahead and pre-order it before Final Order Cutoff hits this upcoming Monday. The next book I want to mention to you is a book called Gamma Flight, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Spinning out of Immortal Hulk, Bruce Banner's Gamma-powered allies go on the run. Gamma Flight had one job, find and stop the Hulk. But when push came to smash, they sided with the Green Goliath, and the human world intends to make them regret it. Puck, Absorbing Man, Titania, Doc Sasquatch, Dr. Charlene McGowan, and a horribly changed Rick Jones are fugitives from every known authority. But a team that full of Gamma is bound to break before long. Al Ewing, Crystal Frazier, and Lan Medina mastermind a whole new world of Gamma. This is another book that made me wish that I had been all in on the Immortal Hulk from the very beginning. It makes me wish that I was a big Hulk fan. There's these additional books that come out that are also written by Al Ewing, who writes the main Immortal Hulk series, amongst other fantastic books that are out there right now. I read things like this and it sounds pretty interesting and it sounds cool, and I wish, like I said, that I had been in on it the whole time. But I feel like I am so far behind on all things Immortal Hulk, and I'm also not that big of a Hulk fan in general, that reading this is just not really interesting to me. But if you're a fan of the Hulk and you've been reading the Immortal Hulk the whole time, as it's coming to a close, so it seems will titles like this, so this is just going to be another nice complement to that series that you've been reading. The next book I want to mention to you is a book called Heroes Return, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. An epic, oversized slugfest between the Squadron Supreme and an otherworldly group of Avengers for the final fate of the whacked-out world of Heroes Reborn. All right, so this book is essentially issue number 8 of Heroes Reborn. You see in this, I didn't realize at first that the first 4 issues of Heroes Reborn are actually connecting covers. These are the A covers. Issue 5, 6, and 7 of Heroes Reborn also connect, and they connect with this A cover for Heroes Return. So this is essentially the 8th issue of Heroes Reborn. So if you're reading Heroes Reborn and you're a fan of it, like I am, most people aren't. Most people aren't paying attention to Heroes Reborn at all. I think there's a little bit of special event fatigue going on, and I get that. But I decided to try Heroes Reborn, and I find it entertaining and interesting. So I've been sticking with it. So I'm definitely going to pick this up. But if you're like me and you are reading this title, make sure you add Heroes Return to your pull, especially ahead of FOC, so you're guaranteed getting it. Because, like I said, it is essentially issue number 8 of the Heroes Reborn miniseries. So don't miss it if you're reading Heroes Reborn. The next book I want to mention to you is a book called Extraordinary or Extraordinary. I don't know how they prefer the pronunciation, but it's issue number 1 from Titan Comics. Here's the description. New York Times bestselling author of Addie LaRue, V.E. Schwab, returns for a new anti-villain story. Expands deeper into the world of Schwab's critically acclaimed villains novels. After surviving a deadly crash, Charlotte Tills becomes extraordinary, gaining the ability to foresee a person's death. But when she looks into her own future, only the face of notorious EO killer Eli Ever stares back. All right, if you remember several weeks ago, both in my FOC video and in my 6 picks for the week, I had recommended Extraordinary issue number 0. For a handful of reasons, it sounded like an interesting story, but primarily because they were selling it for $1. I was like, why not give it a shot? Well, I did, and I read it, and it was fine. It was interesting. I could see it having some potential, but I can't say that it grabbed my attention enough to get on board with the main series here, starting with issue number 1. It was worth it for $1, but now we're getting into full price $4 comics and this ongoing series. But like I said, it was good, it was fine, but not enough to get me to start this brand new series. If you took my advice and you picked up issue number 0, I still think it's a good one just to kind of have in your PC. But if you liked it more than I did, I want to let you know it is now officially starting with its issue number 1 hitting Final Order Cutoff this upcoming Monday. That's from Titan Comics, by the way. The next book I want to mention to you is a book called Batman Reptilian, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from DC. Here's the description. What strikes fear into the hearts of those who terrorize Gotham? It used to be Batman, but something far more frightening than a mere man stalks the shadows, and it's after Gotham's villains. How savage must a monster be to haunt the dreams of monsters? Pick up this dark and bone-chilling tale by comics legends Garth Ennis and Liam Sharp to find out. All right. It's another book that's Batman-themed from DC Comics. It seems like about 90%, I know that's not an accurate number, but it seems like about 90% of DC's books in some way, shape, or form feature Batman or someone from the Batman family or someone who originated from the Batman Gotham kind of world. And this is another one. This is Batman Reptilian. I don't know what to say about that. If you're a hardcore Batman fan and you pick up everything, you're going to want to know about this. If you're not, I don't know how to convince somebody to read this. I would rather read, Batman the Detective, that limited series that's coming out right now, than I would to read Batman Reptilian. I mean, what is this? I guess read the book and find out if you're curious, like, what do you mean a reptile Batman? Is he the Batman and something happened to him to make him reptilian? Or is there also a Batman in the world and there's also this Batman Reptilian? I don't know what this is. I don't know why this is. But like I said, if you seem more interested than me, go ahead and make sure to pre-order this one ahead of FOC. I have a feeling it won't be too hard to find, though. And as a reminder, all things from DC, which we're going to be talking about for the rest of this video, hit Final Order Cutoff a day earlier, which is Sunday, May 30th. So make sure you get your order in for the DC books a day early on Sunday. The next book I'm going to mention to you is a book called Checkmate Number One. This is a 6-issue limited series from DC Comics. Here's the description. The dark forces of Leviathan have torn through the DC universe, and now no one can be trusted. No one, not even the person writing to you about this book. That's why you find out in Justice League 63 that Green Arrow has been secretly funding a group called Checkmate, because not even the Justice League itself can be trusted. The mysterious Mr. King has helped Green Arrow assemble the greatest team of super spies the world has ever seen. Lois Lane, The Question, Robin, Steve Trevor, Manhunter, Bones, and Talia al Ghul will have to outsmart the smartest people in the world before they destroy everything. Plus, a new mystery character is tiptoeing through the shadows. They call him the Damon Rose. I always don't know if it's Daemon. I never remember if it's still pronounced Demon, but I'm going to go ahead and say Damon for now. And he is hunting Lois Lane right under Superman's nose. It's an all-new, spine-chilling thriller from the Eisner Award-winning team of Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. Okay, this sounds kind of interesting. This sounds kind of cool to me. I like this group. Lois Lane, The Question, Robin, Steve Trevor, Manhunter, Bones, Talia al Ghul, and Damon Rose. So it sounds like it could be a cool, story, a cool group of characters. I mean, they're odd. I heard some writer one time, I think it might have been Chris Claremont, who said, what is interesting is taking two characters that are very, very different and putting them in the room together and then seeing what would happen between those two characters if you put them in a room together. This is one of those things, you put all these kind of randos in a room together, what kind of dynamics are you going to get? It sounds actually pretty interesting to me. And then you say that there's going to be this new character, a new mystery character in there. Now you've got my spec radar up. This is a book that might be worth checking out, especially if you're a hardcore DC fan. This might be just a book for you. The next book I want to mention to you is Green Arrow 80th Anniversary. Yes. Okay, I'm just checking something here real fast. Yes, Green Arrow 80th Anniversary 100-page super spectacular. This is a one-shot. Here's the description. Celebrating the Emerald Archer's 80th anniversary, for the last 8 decades, Green Arrow has been one of the premier and loudest characters in the DCU, always at the forefront of where the superhero genre is headed. This oversized anniversary issue follows in those footsteps as an all-star lineup of Green Arrow creators alongside some of the gifted creators of the modern era who have been inspired by Oliver Queen unite to pay tribute to the battling bowmen. See what the past, present, and future have in store for Oliver Queen, Black Canary, Connor Hawke, Arsenal, Red Arrow, Speedy, and more in this epic special. All right, well, there was super size specials for things like Joker, which I picked up, and Green Lantern that I picked up. I'm sure there were other ones as well, but now there is this one for Green Arrow, and I don't care. Green Arrow is not a character that I care much about. Nothing against Green Arrow, nothing against you if you're a Green Arrow fan. He is just never a character that captured my imagination. The things that are cool about Green Arrow, I basically get from like Batman, kind of. So there's not much going on in this character that's appealing to me. But if you are a big Green Arrow fan, this is your lucky day. This is the fan service event you've been looking for. An 80th anniversary, 100-page, super spectacular, just for you. And each one has each cover honors a different decade. So you can pick the decade of your choice. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book called Infinite Frontier. Issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series. Here is the description from DC. When our heroes saved the multiverse from Perpetua in Dark Knight's death metal, everything was put back where it belonged. And we do mean everything. All the damage from the crises was undone. And heroes, long thought gone, returned from whatever exile they had been in. Most of them, at least. Alan Scott, the Green Lantern from the Justice Society of America, has noticed some of his allies are still missing in action, and he's determined to find them. There are others, though, who would rather remain hidden than explain themselves, like Roy Harper, aka Arsenal, a man who should be dead, but now is not. Plus, what does all this mean for the DCU's place in the multiverse? On opposite sides of the dimensional divide, both Barry Allen and President Superman ponder this question, not to mention the dark side of it all. Or a team of multiversal heroes called Justice Incarnate. Okay, this sounds kind of interesting to me. I find it interesting that basically like DC spent all this time and energy decades ago trying to clean up all the loose ends of the multiverse of the DC universe. And then after I guess so many years of being like, God, there was a lot more fun if we could just do anything we wanted at any time. They then just blew it all up with Dark Knight Death Metal, and basically anything goes now. It's all, anything that ever possibly was touched on in any way, shape, or form is now fair game. And this book kind of legitimizes that. And I guess, so if you're interested in some of these characters, especially some of these kind of like alternate universe characters, this might be a book for you to check out. And finally, the last book that I am going to mention today is Infinite Frontier, Secret Files, issue number 1. This is a one-shot from DC Comics. Here's the description. Are you ready for the new Infinite Frontier series? Do you have the lowdown on all the characters? If not, this print edition of the Digital First Secret Files series will tell you everything you're dying to know. Take a look inside Director Bones' personal database for stories featuring Jade and Obsidian, the children of the original Green Lantern, Psycho Pirate, the scourge of many a crisis on many an Earth, President Superman, the multiverse's ultimate beacon of hope, Roy Harper, back from the dead, and Just Who Are the Totally. Featuring 6 stories in print for the very first time. All right, so if you're like me, and you're not a hardcore DC fan, you don't know everything about every single fringe DC character and an alternate universe character that ever existed, but you're interested in checking out the Infinite Frontier miniseries and how it's all going to affect the DC universe at large, potentially, the Secret Files book right here might be a good way for you to get some information on these characters and get a sense maybe of where you think DC might be going with this Infinite Frontier part of its titles. I used to read the occasional Secret Files books They are helpful in providing context and information that you might not have, like I said, if you're not a hardcore historian of all of these DC characters. So it absolutely has value and is something worth checking out if you want to know more about Infinite Frontier, and also, once again, if you plan on picking up the Infinite Frontier mini-series. All right, that's it. That's all the books that I wanted to mention today to point out, to put on your radar ahead of Final Order Cutoff. Once again, the DC books Final Order Cutoff is Sunday, and Monday is Memorial Day. The 31st is Memorial Day, so I don't know if for some reason that's going to push up Marvel and all the indies. Everybody's not DC or Scouts. Final Order Cutoff a day earlier, so do yourself a favor. Set up your pre-orders if there's anything on this list that you're interested in advance of even Monday. Do it on Sunday or even Saturday. As always, this is just a sampling of the books that I wanted to flag, to highlight a little bit, to put a little bit of a spotlight on in this video. I always recommend just taking a minute, it doesn't take that long, go through the list of all the books hitting Final Order Cutoff. I put the links down below to Preview World, where you can find the vast majority of them that are hitting Final Order Cutoff, most likely on Monday, and then the one to Lunar, that's definitely hitting Final Order Cutoff on Sunday. The two links are down below in the description. Hit those, check them out, make sure that you're informed. Final Order Cutoff is power. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Know what books are coming out, have them reserved ahead of time. Don't be sorry on New Comic Book Day when you miss out on something that you wish you had known about ahead of time. All right, if you appreciate this video and you appreciate the information that I'm providing, likes are appreciated by me, so please go ahead and minimize the screen, hit the like button. You don't even have to pause the video. You can just like as we go. I appreciate it very much if you've gone ahead and done so already. As well, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for watching this video. Even though you're not a subscriber, I would invite you to hit the subscribe guy right here or any other way that you would like to do it. But make sure you hit the notification bell so you're informed about new books, new videos when I put them out, sometimes randomly. All right. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.